Good day, brothers and sisters from One Nation Tribal Alliance. Today, I'm here with my nephew Julius, and he's come across some people that have been watching the podcast that Kim and I have been doing, and he's got some questions that the people back home or wherever been asking him. So, you know, I got him on to see what he's gonna challenge on me on what kind of questions, and we will talk about a couple of questions that he wants to answer. But before that, here, let him introduce himself. So, go ahead.
Kasi One Nation. Katong tawa na nadaya. So Keke and I, we had our first podcast that we talked about reservation life, and I shared it with a lot of my friends. And one of my dear friends, Lee Makino, from up north, northern New Mexico, we were talking about a lot of the religious ceremonies that we've got going on and what's going on now. We have night dances that have just started, so we have dances going on. We got a lot of Kiva activities. And Keke, one of the things he was asking about was grounding, and I was talking to him about what we do, on like what I do personally. But he goes, we had talked about how things were in the past. I kept saying like, well, this is how it used to be. Nana said this is what we had to do and all. You and I were very fortunate to have loving parents and elders who taught us a lot of the ways that you and I both know. And the younger generation, like Lee, he hasn't gotten anything like that knowledge that's been passed down to him. Some of it has been passed down traditionally, but now with a lot of with advancement of modern times, we've lost a lot of our traditions, a lot of our ways, and we don't know a lot of the rich tradition, oral history, and all. And Homaya, like he was asking me, how do we ground ourselves to go, into the kiva? How do we do this? How do we do that? And I tried to explain to him, and it's really hard because Shiwi Makwa Yuhedo, he don't understand Zuni, he don't understand, like how you and I, there's that, I don't know, it's like legal terminology or medical terminology. I think that it's old Zuni language. Now it's slang. We don't talk about how things have changed and how we're dealing with it. And he came to me and it opened my eyes where he goes, you know all this stuff, but we don't. We have to read from books. We have to learn from YouTube, TikTok, and my biggest thing is there's so much stuff out there. You could be learning the wrong stuff. That with what you're doing and what I'm doing, we're trying to teach the right way, to do these things. And I think going forward in our podcasts, we need to start, addressing stuff like that. And me, I know, like I told him, I'll give tobacco, I'll smoke a cigarette, cleanse my mind, concentrate, and like we always say, clear your mind, clear your heart, clear your thoughts. Every time we go into the kiva, every time we go somewhere, family, man up,
Yeah.
and on up, and like I was telling you, when I go to the kiva, you get really energized, and like going back into Mother Earth, you go back in there, get that energy built up. But maybe you can explain it, because I tried to explain it in Zuni, but I can't find the Melika terms. The chakras, we don't have those words in our language. We do, but it corresponds, like, the medicine kwatlusi hon tikya kwat illa pa kwat hon yam kokwan kwat illa pa. There's certain things for that, and you teach the general stuff with everybody, all colors and all that. And ama kwashuson ho na want to ito and enlighten us on that part, because there's so many ways you could do it. I go outside, I pray barefoot, every morning, stuff like that, things, like just meditating and all. But maybe, starting point, we need to ground ourselves. And before we go into ceremony, before we start a sweat like you're doing, anything, we always go to the creator, we always pray, we always ask for that guidance. And Ama, can you elaborate a little bit more on how we can do that, and so that way it's a little bit more clearer, and like Brother Lee can understand, and our brothers and sisters as well.
Okay, well, again, I don't know. I guess you saw my last 4 videos that I did about the medicine wheel, which are the 4 colors, which is red, black, white, and yellow. And I correspond and connect it with the 4 chakras, which is your first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, and your fourth chakra, which is your heart chakra, which is the transformation. And the reason why we started teaching this, Kim and I started teaching this, because I do the medicine wheel teaching part, because we all have gifts and we all have uh, talents that we have that we can share, with other people, and the knowledge that we have, we can share with the world, I guess we would say. And Kim is very knowledgeable on the chakras, which she really goes in depth about it. And we teach that class. We teach this class in depth. And we have over 140 modules on this class alone. So at the end, I will tell you about what it means and how to get this class, because you know. But again, what you're asking me is grounding. Grounding, yes, is very important. That should be the first thing. Grounding is on the medicine wheel is the red color red, which is Mother Earth. And in again in the chakras, that's your first chakra. First chakra, Mother Earth, again, is basically to teach you about or show you that you are a survivor. You are a survivor because the abuse, the neglect, the whatever you have gone through in life, you think about that. And it's like I said earlier about when we start our prayer, we start our prayer saying, at this moment, at this very second, we're not talking about the past, we're not talking about the future, but at this moment, when you say your prayer like that, you are talking right now. And when you are grounded, you say, right now, I am in this moment, and you realize I survived of what I went through, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever traumatic, event that happened in your life, you survived. You survived it to where when you go into Mother Earth, you know, you connect with Mother. You bring all that out to identify what your strengths are. And that will help you start awakening, which, again, like I said, it's survival. The red chakra, first chakra, is survivor, being a survivor. So after you get that cleared away and understand your what you have learned from being a survivor, because it gives more energy and more power. You go to the second chakra, which is to the left. Remember, we go clockwise. So from red, you go to black, which is south, to west, which is water, spirit, and emotion. So when you go into the sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, you're going in and dealing with your emotion. And when you start working on your emotion, you need in the chakra part, the second chakra, you're going to start dealing with relationship. The relationships you have with your family, your kids, your neighbors, your community. You start talking about, you start working on the relationship you have with them, and your emotion will start rising up. When you start working on your relationships and start clarifying everything and start having a better relationship emotionally, you're going to be satisfied with the outcome to where it started raising your emotions to a higher level, which raises your, again, your energy up to where you go get ready for the third chakra, which is energy. And in the medicine well, it's the white part of the medicine well, which is energy. To the north, energy. And when you start working with your energy, we all say, well, what is that energy in the medicine world? Energy is working your physical mind over matter, which I tell a lot of people, you got to allow your spirit to control the body and not the body control the spirit. Because when the body controls the spirit, you have start to develop a lot of habits that are negative, and you start thinking that, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's not okay. You got to allow your spirit to control the body, because when anything you do, when your spirit is controlled over the body, it will happen. It will start to happen because transformation starts happening in the third chakra. And in the third chakra, that is self esteem. Self esteem, you start working on yourself again. When you get to the third chakra and start working on yourself, you're not worried about what people call you, how people look at you, how people are what they're gonna say about you. You're not worried about that. All you're worried about is connecting to the Father, your source, and Mother, because there ain't nobody here that's gonna stop you from connecting. That is your only connection. It is all about you, nobody else but you. So when you start working on yourself, you start looking at, like I said, in the medicine world, mind over matter. Mind over matter is when you start working on yourself, say that, like in the military, they'll tell us, give me 100 push-ups. Well, you think about it, you can't do it. But if you don't think about it, you can do it. And that's just the way it is. When you get to thinking about it, you can't do it. But if you don't worry about it and just saying, I can do it, 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 before you know it, you've already done 100 push ups. And you can do more because your mind has controlled the body to where the body is doing what the mind is telling it and not realizing. And when you start thinking about mind over matter and doing things, think about what you have already accomplished. Don't worry about, don't think about what you're going to go through, you know, and like the fireworkers. The firework walkers do not think about how hot those coals are as they're walking through the coals. They're thinking about the other side, finishing, getting to the other side where it's already done. It's already done to where when they walk through the coals, it won't bother them. And when they get to the other side, you say, wow, I did that. I did that. And then again, when you're when you're third chakra, your self-esteem, when people talk about you, when people laugh at you, when people mock you, and all that, you don't worry about them. It won't face you. It won't bother you. But if you take it to the heart, that's when it brings your energy back down. So you don't want to worry about that, because you remember, third chakra, when your emotion is high and your energy is high, when they get together, that's when your vibration gets higher. Remember, transformation starts at your third chakra. When you get to the fourth chakra, that's the transformation, which is yellow on the medicine wheel. That's the vibration. When you keep your vibration up, When you keep it strong and everything, there ain't nothing in the world, nothing would bother you. Even the dark will not bother you. The dark will stay away from you because your energy and your vibration is so high, above 432 hertz. Your vibration is so high that when you go somewhere and there's a person that doesn't have good, that's on the either on the dark side or whatever, you watch them literally run away from you, or if you corner them, they'll lash out at you for no reason. No reason they'll lash out at you. And all you gotta do is remember, dark, get away from me. He has to leave because you're more. Fear is the number one power that the dark has over you. So whatever you do, if you ever encounter fear, don't fear that, because your light will light up that dark, and the dark does not want your light, because all the dark is after is your essence. But if you keep your vibration up, ground and everything, and work on these things, connecting to Mother Earth, connecting by survival. Remember, Mother Earth was there with you when you survive. And it doesn't matter where you go, you are connected. Because, like I tell them, like I said before, there are 7 directions. People say, 7 directions? How is it 7 directions when there is only 4? Well, no, Zuni has 6. I said, no, 7. See, they don't teach you the 7th direction, which is north, east, south, west, or up and down. And where's that 7th direction? Is you. You are the 7th direction. Because why is there a 7th direction? Because you're right here, up and down. You got bubble, like you're protected from top to bottom, and your top, all 4 directions. Your cup protected. So when you keep your vibration up, staying connected with your father and your mother, that's how you stay protected. We go in depth about teaching this class. So if anybody wants to take it, now he calls, but we'll work with you. Get a hold of us, But anyway, that's one of the things that we like to teach because, I follow late Clifford Mahudi, yes, because I believe in what he was trying to teach. Yes, he said that he went through a lot, but with his energy being so high, it didn't bother him. He continued until he transitioned to the other part, So anyway, that's what I got about the chakras now and grounding. So I blow your mind.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a lot, and what you explained. That's my shui mahon listening now. Demi yamante, and I don't think a lot of the young men that are going into that are learning any of that anymore. Like I was telling you, we bring cell phones into the kiva and they're sitting there playing with them, and it's like that's not the time or the place for it. And then you have the leaders that are doing the same thing, so they're learning from example. Me, how we are. We're old school. We're pretty vocal when it comes to the kiva and things like that, and I'll say something, and they look at me like I'm mean, and it's like 100 years ago, we didn't have any of this technology. You're gonna be okay. It's and going. We need to go back to how things were, and we have to be the ones to teach. And what you're teaching, all that, there's people watching. The ancestors, the spirits up above are watching. One of the things that's really cool and unique is people see a lot of UFO activity during night dance season. The mountain we have behind our house, Keke, remember Yala, Bluebird Mountain?
Yeah.
Well, I guess now, we have Bluebird UFOs. I had one of my friends asked me. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Have you seen any of those blooper UFOs?" And I was like, "What?" Quite a bit. And he goes, blooper UFOs. Don't know. UFOs. Oh, there's lights and stuff going around up there on the mountain. They've been more frequent. I was like, I don't know. I said we were told not to look outside, and at nights, chot andun na bunny, and somebody will look out at you.
Yeah.
And so we started talking a little bit more on that. But come to think of it, yes, during night dance season, especially springtime, UFOs or happy, and they were saying it was that space or SpaceX, whatever. But those are in a line. But these ones, they go from one end to another. And Mata'ana Bituki, Alexiautua, he was coming down from Paye one evening after Hollywood and was calling his daughters. And as he was coming up, he saw lights. And sure enough, he ended up getting some footage, and it was on Facebook. So I don't know if it's still on there. I have to check. So you were talking about Clifford Mahudi. He's coming back, letting us know that they're out there. Just like we're talking about our tours. Great Kivas, those petroglyphs of the aliens, the spaceship, and there's a lot. And I'm glad that you're here to talk about stuff like that too. Here in Zuni, we don't talk much about it. I don't know why, but we're seeing it. There's evidence. People, are seeing these lights at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Here I'm asleep at that time, so. But and like you said, if you're grounded, you can see stuff like that, or kwatom tuna gyapan, and that's that special hour, 3 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, they're out there trying to communicate.
Talk about 3 o'clock in the morning. You know why 3 o'clock in the morning is actually Mela Piquaikia.
Mela Bitcoin, when everything starts,
That's
when you would
yes,
start our prayers, our everything, where the
yes. And the reason why 3 o'clock in the morning is the midday of midnight or everything like that. Not 12 o'clock at night, but 3 o'clock in the morning is why? Because that's the time, as they will say, negatively, that a lot of people will say that's witching hour, but actually not. Because that's during the day. That's the hottest part of the day. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the hottest part of the day. Not at noontime, not at high noon, but at 3 o'clock, because that's when the sun gets in the way and starts going down. It comes up to 3 o'clock in the morning, then it goes back down. Same time at nighttime. The moon will get down there, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's coming back up. The sun goes down all the way down at 3 at night or 3 in the morning, it'll start going back up to the east. So that's why, 3 o'clock in the morning is Mela Piquaikia.
mm,
And things never really happen until at that time, and but in
I
other
remember
words,
that. Yeah, when we
yeah,
were taking part, I remember that's what one of the Woe would always do, go outside. And I was like I said, what is he doing? Hippie kanana and shit. And that's what he would do, and we'd sit there and talk about, what we're talking about, traditions, about things. So it was always, it took time. It wasn't just, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to be out by 15 minutes and we're going to go. You had to be patient, you had to sit up straight, you had to be attentive. And Coin McCann hung up 4 times, get another coin, he'll go outside and look up Guatemala Bitcoin. You're like, damn, it's 1, 2 o'clock already. Come on, I gotta go to work. Waiting, and then next thing, you like you said, my uncle 2:45, smell a Bitcoin again. Like, all right. And then we start practicing, doing what we gotta do. Hour and a half later, we were adjourned, go home, sleep, and 15 minutes before the sun's up, you're up getting ready and start the day again.
Yep.
And it was it's hard, but like you said, mind over matter.
Yep.
Ikutin.
Yeah. Anything you do, anything you go through, this is what I'm saying is the key word is you. It's going to be all about you. Nobody else but you. You first. Because you have to put yourself through, and like Dutch used to tell me when I was getting ready to go in the military. He says, when I was in the military back in the day, because he spent 28 years in the Air Force, he said, I would never, ever tell anybody what to do, what I have not done myself, or not I have gone through myself. I will never tell anybody to do that. So that has always been in my mind. Whatever I tell, if I'm going to ask you to do something, and keyword ask you to do something, I'm not going to say because I've never done it, because chances are I've done it myself. I know what it goes through. When I ask you to do something, actually I am teaching you in a roundabout way, because I'm going to be with you to see if you're doing it right. And if you're not doing it, I'm going to say, okay, let me correct you. This is how you do it, you know. And when you teach, that's the way it should be taught. Because when you say, hey, those are negative words. When you tell a person, oh, you don't know how to do it, you're not doing it right. This is not, those are negative words. Not only are they words, but the power behind your voice. They always used to tell us, don't speak to anybody where you hurt their heart. That's what they used to tell us. So in other words, watch your voice. That's why Dad always have a soft voice. He never raised his voice. Well, I don't know about you, but he never spanked us. Never spanked us at all. He never disciplined us, no matter what we did. And we gave him the run for his money, but he never spanked us.
He spanked me once, but he spanked me once. I'm not even gonna say what I did, but he spanked me once, and it got Bitcoin and sat on the bed with me and started crying and said, that hurt me more than it hurt you. And he told me he was sorry, but why? What I did was wrong, and corrected me, and said, quiet letting not that on my butt, you have to learn. And that was the first and last time. And it was, I never did. I mean, he never raised his voice, but it's just that one time I screwed up.
Well, you gave him the run for the money, I guess. But, that's part of teaching. You never don't raise your voice. Don't think negative. If you're gonna show them how to do it, even if they don't do it right, 3 or 4 times, that's when it shouldn't go that far. They don't do it right the first time. You get down there and you help them do it right. You don't wait 3 or 4 times, then get mad and get down there and do it. No, the first time if they don't do it right, you get down and do it right with them and not raise your voice. That's how they would understand. That's how you would learn. But if you're yelling at your voice, yelling at you and everything, yeah, you just tune them out, and that's the way it is, But you know, things that we are sharing, you know, it's we talk about changes, and when the people ask, like I said before, about did the Catholics have an influence on your religion? Yes, because we're not allowing women in our kiva. those pueblos on the Rio Grande corridor that were not influenced by the Catholicism, they still allow women in the kiva, and they still, like us, are a matrilineal, matriarchal society, where women, you know, are everything because of them, we are here. And it's like they say, a divorce. When you go through a divorce, everything you accumulated during your marriage, you just have to let it go. Don't fight over it. Just let it go. Walk away. The house belongs to the woman. Just like mom's house went to Pizzi. You know, that's the way it goes. Then whoever beats their size, you know, you would have gone. But this is the way. This the way we were raised. And yeah, I see a lot of I see a lot of changes in Zuni, but you know, one step at a time. One step at a time. If you can change one person, that's good. That one person is gonna walk around and people are gonna wonder, where did he learn this stuff from? You know, it's like the old saying is, you know, people who have knowledge are silent. Those that speak up loud don't have the knowledge. So people who have knowledge don't say anything. That's why you used to see a lot of elders just sit there to themselves and whatever. They're just observing what's going on. But the people that are speaking up, you know, they're not saying it right. They're not doing it, but they're trying to change. They're not, it don't matter if you're in an authority position or not. First thing you do is you observe before you speak. That's the way it should be, and be that way. Even you as a father, your daughter, don't put you through whatever you think he's going. You put your dad through. Just think your daughter is going to be your vengeance for your dad. You know. So, any other question?
Um, I think like one of the things that I'm hearing is a lot of people are very excited that you're doing your tours and you're doing your classes, and we're ma'elahqua, because here, I know a lot of the stuff that you're teaching, but there's more because I wasn't brought up, what you learned, like being in the medicine group and dali up there, all the older people that you grew up with. And then like with my mom, she went to school and her and Bitsy, they were forbidden to speak the language. So seeing how you were raised and how my mom was raised, how I was raised, and how it is now, it's been a struggle to survive. It's been a struggle to carry on these traditions that we have and that we carry. And with what you're saying and with what the late Clifford Mahudi said, we have to share that knowledge. We have to know this stuff because that's who we are. We came out from Mother Earth, and what was the first thing that we saw when we came out was the morning star. But we were looking for the Almighty, Sun Father. And that's always been our quest, to look for that higher power. And sometimes with the hustle and bustle of things, just the mere thing of surviving, putting food on the table, clothes on your back, and makwas, we don't have. But with the religion and stuff, or the traditions that we have, and when you pray, yo'an, it'll come to be. Isha amatuso tacho ambenandea. Yo Anna, you're having a hard time right now, pray. Yo Anna temi, and that's a lot of that stuff that you're teaching us, the grounding, the chakras, usitem tlacual, that's a lot to take in. But thank you for giving me both the Zuni version and then the Melika version, because it actually opens up a lot more. Because then I can't find a lot of the words to say in English or to express the teachings that we have, and it's hard. Sometimes you have to draw things out, like I tell Maddie, you have to draw things out to explain, and mato kwascotland on that. Thank you for that knowledge, and thank you for you and Kim to give us these podcasts. And to those that haven't experienced reservation life or been out to the Southwest, or even your classes, this gives them that opportunity to do so, and gives us an opportunity to share what knowledge that we have as well. So, but Ella, and
Yeah,
going forward, that's one thing I'm really looking forward to.
yeah, good, good. Because I'm looking forward for our trips, because that way we give physical evidence of what is out there, what
Mm.
we were taught. And like you said about UFOs, a lot of people say, "Well, no, no, no." Hey, I'm a convinced person that they are out there.
Mm.
Kim is too. You know, so because she's got more experience than that. Well, I slept when I was taught in the beginning, but I keep saying yes, 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 but then I got my awakening on that. You know, Kim did hers very beginning, to where, I mean, she does light language, which is what we Zunis do if you get your energy up there, because that's a different way of communicating, because our history says Kakoti, what's it up,
Mm-hmm.
why, those why or stuff like that in there. You used to tell us the dogs used to talk, the snakes used to talk. Snakes used to have legs, but they got chopped off because they keep running after people and biting them. So they got their legs chopped off. You know, the lizards. The lizards used to chase people and eat them, but they had to be put on their belly because they kept eating people. So now all they eat is they're vegetarian. What they tell us. Careful. All these things are said, but we didn't believe it. But these tours that we're going to do is going to be physical evidence. El Moro, physical evidence that the Spanish came. They wrote on that rock, inscription rock. Coronado's name is on there. Pizarro, De Soto, all them people came through America. You know, they came through Zuni and they came to America. Like you said about space beings, you know, they're on our Great Kiva ruins. Why? Why do we have that physical evidence of that? Even the supernova, 1050 supernova. Why is it documented on the Great Kiva walls? You know, this is the reason why I want people to experience these tours and to really learn, because probably in the evenings of our tours, we're going to sit down and have a Q&A session with them and explain to them a little more in detail. So these tours we're going to do, the first one is going to start out 16, 17, and 18 in the month of May. And as soon as we get everything finalized, we will bring it out more. And right now we got March and April and then May. So we're still a long ways away, but we're giving you all a heads up, because when we announce it, those days, 16, 17, 18, plan it, because it's going to be a great tour. It's going to be a great tour, and you're going to see a lot of the Southwest. That these tours are meant to teach you what physical evidence we have about what we talk about, and I want everybody to experience what it is because we're probably gonna one day go back to survival. And we need to know all these things. You know, picking up a flint. How do you know it's a flint? Rub it together, smell it. Smells like matches. How do you use it to start a fire? You know, if they want to learn how to do it while we're out there hiking, start a fire with that flint. You know, or that you know, you know, the cottonwood, you know, root and the branch. How do you start a fire with it? You know, let's start one. Rubbing it together, friction. You can get the fire going. All these things, we're gonna have a great time. I know I am. But anyway, I'm glad you asked me some questions that, you know, I hope it clarified it for some people that you are
Yeah.
talking to. And again, we are teaching this class. To get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at alchemy at kimberlytn.com, which is alchemy at Kimberly, KimberlyTien.com. And, you know, you can also catch us on One Nation Tribal Alliance, both the Facebook page and the YouTube. If you catch us on YouTube, like and subscribe because we're going to get more classes as time comes along. And we want to give everybody an opportunity to take. And this class, like I said, has over 140 modules. So it's a lot to learn, but it's a life, it's a lifetime access to these modules, so we're not going to take it off or anything. Once you purchase the class, you got it. And you can take your time studying about it, watch the videos over and over again till you get what we're saying. And if you have any questions, we'll be going on Zoom live to answer any questions, or you can get a hold of us. It tells you how to get a hold of us. If you have a question that needs answering, and we will respond. We're just not going to sell it and leave you hanging. So we're going to leave everybody, a chance to ask any questions. So anyway, that's what I got, Julius. So
Yeah. How much is your class anyway?
well, it's going to be $300 for the class, but we can work with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, get a hold of us. We'll send you an introductory, to the class and everything, and tell you how to, pay and everything. So
All right,
we're
cool.
here.
Yeah, that's pretty excited. I'll go ahead and share your information. And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, my email is juliusothole@gmail.com, all lowercase. So, but looking forward to it, Keke.
Okay. All right. Until we talk next time, I love you.
Love you too.
Love you, tribe. You have a good day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye bye.